Subscribe to Dave's Multiverse on YouTube, Spotify, and...
And we are live. Greetings, humans. We are live on X, Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch for some reason, all across the multiverse right now. I'm here with my lovely producer, Megan, Miss Indonesia Jones. Say hi.
Happy to be here. Can't wait for this chat.
Yeah, and I've been looking forward to that for about a week at least since these guys left. I was supposed to be there, but I started a new job, so I'm just grateful these guys jumped in tonight. We're here with Cody from East 10 Outpost. Say hi, my friend.
What's happening, Dave? Glad to be on with you. Missing you, bud.
I miss you guys too. I love you guys. And we're also here with my boy, the Carbonatrix master himself from Megalithic Mystery, Aaron Hines. What's up, buddy?
Dave, Megan, good to see you. Sad that you guys are both aren't here. We needed both of your skills. We needed you guys, but we're happy to be here in Mexico and super excited for you guys to be the first people that we share some of our amazing stories with, because we've been up to a ton of great things down here and been having an excellent time and creating some unbeatable experiences.
Definitely been into some wild shit. It's been a good
Very
time.
cool, and I'm excited for all the content that comes out of it. But I want to hear a little bit about the journey. I've been purposely avoiding like what you guys have been doing, so that it's all a surprise for me tonight. So, like, tell us how the trip got popped off, like, and like, what have you guys been up to so far? I know I got a video to play for Cody, but what's been going on? Like, how did this start out?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, to all of your listeners and viewers, we're going to have to apologize if there's any technical issues. We're here in an Airbnb in Mexico. It's echoing like a cathedral in here, and the Wi-Fi is not super reliable. So thanks for bearing with us, and apologize for jumping on here late. That's a great question. And also apologize in case we're snacking here. We've been out in the 95-degree weather, hiking around in 4 different ruin and archaeological zones today. We just got our pizza delivered via Uber Eats, and we're starving, so we might be sneaking some bites. So apologize for that. But that's a great question. I'm going to pass it torch over here to the organizer of this whole event, and the reason we came down here, Cody, because he had a great idea that kind of kicked this whole thing off.
Yeah, so tell us what happened.
It's so this started for me about 3 years ago. I found the coordinates that they sit right over a magnetic anomaly, and I looking back at some of the photos that they've got from satellite imagery over the years, you could see there was definitely remnants of structures there. So for the last 3 years, I've been obsessed about this. Met you guys along the way. We just got it set up and came out here. We went out to BFE out in Mexico, a little tiny bitty town. We drove down this little dirt bumpy road. Our car barely made it. It was bad. It was bad.
It was rough. We were literally bottoming out in this little ship. It's like a Chevy Cobalt. We were bottoming out constantly on this road. But it made it there. It got us there.
Yeah, it still is a piece. And to Aaron's credit, he manages to avoid those bottles pretty good. But we got kind of just lined up with the coordinates and just started hacking and flashing our way there. What was it, over a kilometer out?
Yeah, over a kilometer, so about 2/3 of a mile out there, just like literally straight through so we had a little bit of a path, a little bit of a road that went kind of into the jungle that we stopped on, but then it started heading off in the wrong direction. So we just had to trailblaze. We bought 2 machetes. There's a fun story about those machetes. Only one of the machetes made it back. We'll get into that in a second. We bought 2 machetes, and so we literally were slashing through jungle vines, looking at my phone, hoping that the GPS was telling us the right thing, which, they did, and headed in the direction of these, what we thought and hoped were ruins that this guy had found. I don't know if that was clear earlier. Cody found ruins on satellite maps, so what he thought was ruins, and they lined up over a geomagnetic anomaly as documented by the U.S. government.
Wow.
Just to give you the 1-sentence version. So now we're out there hiking through the brush to try to get to this place. And what do we find?
Well, as we get almost right at the coordinates, I'll be damned if there wasn't a perfectly rectangular remnants of what I would assume a house on the outskirts of this, some sort of building, but stacked about 2 to 3 stones high in certain places was the perimeter wall remaining of this structure.
Yeah, about 10 feet by 8 feet, maybe. It wasn't super big, but it was clearly organized and clearly rectangular. I mean, it had been dispersed a little bit, and that's the first thing we see.
Yeah.
And, well,
I got really excited because this is like 3 years hoping and praying valid. So I like spin the machete around and plant it right into the ground in the middle. I'm so excited. My hand slips right down the blade. So I don't know how well you can see this. I've got one here, I've got one here, and then I've got 4 stitches holding up my thumb that I won't show on your YouTube and get demonetized. But
You got stitches?
Yeah. Well, so not immediately, right? We're out over a kilometer into the jungle, and now I have severely cut myself. I cut a tendon in my hand. Little guy hanging out like a little noodle.
yeah. So if you missed that, we get there. Cody is so excited, so elated. His arms above his head, he's holding a machete, screaming like mad. And slams it down into the ground, and then his hand just slid down.
Funny, I think we got a problem.
So I'm looking at Cody, and we're still both excited. And his hand, like, I know a little bit of blood. I'm like, "Oh, did you cut yourself?" And he's like, "Yeah, I cut myself." I look away, do something else. I look back, and then his whole entire hand is red, and it's dripping down his arm. And I'm like, "Oh,
Jeez.
you really cut yourself." So I looked at my backpack. I had one Band-Aid. It was like a Band-Aid this big. That wasn't going to cut it. So I took the machete. I stabbed it into Cody's. He had a long sleeve shirt, so I stabbed it into his shirt, ripped his shirt off, and then we field tourniquet, wound that around the wound. Making him hold it real tight, and then
but that was like literally just when we got it.
That was the first day.
Oh my
So
gosh.
then we kept going.
We cut Aaron finds this hole, the sinkhole into the ground. We both jumped in it, of course. Checked it out. When one finds an entrance to Shivalba, you gotta go check it out. So, like, Aaron, to his credit, if you didn't know this man's an actual devil, he's just a math man. So, being the massive fit being he is, he was able to pull me out completely from this hole because here I am bleeding out down in this hole with now no realistic way to get back up by my own means. So I'm glad that I had Aaron here to pull me out of the hole. But we found a total of about 3 or 4 structures that were obviously remnants of the perimeter walls.
Yeah.
And I wish there was something grandiose and exciting. And to be honest, I am going to come back here in the future. I am going to poke around more. But there was a very real concern after about 45 minutes after the accident of it potentially going south. It was heading towards evening time. We were getting a little bit of rain too. So cooler heads there prevailed.
So we went to the first place. So Cody had an injury. We explored some more. We explored for probably about another 45 minutes to an hour. We went in further into like the exact GPS coordinates of where it was, and we found some other structures or remnants of structures. It's rubble, really like rubble is what I'm going to describe it. It is rubble.
It's a complete remnants.
It's hard to describe it even as ruins because it's not really anything, but you can tell that there's the remnants of a foundation of something. And who knows how far down it goes. But the cool thing is we visited other Mayan sites even today, and we've seen what it looks like when these buildings that are completely unexcavated, like there's ones that are like, hey, there is a building here, it's unexcavated, we haven't done any work with it. And it does a lot of times look just like rubble. It just looks like a pile of rocks before they do the restoration work and go through and do those things. So after having a little bit of confirmation of what some of these other places look like, we're fairly certain that these 3 or 4 different places that Cody found out there on this map, it's confirmed to be the remnants of structures. We spent about 45 minutes out there, and then we went back to the car. And that's kind of where the fun is. I have a different perspective of it because I'm not the one that went into shock. So I hear Cody's perspective because after we got back in the car, the adrenaline died down. Yeah. It was an exciting car ride home. Why don't you tell us what you thought?
So it's dark is setting in now. I for the first time am keenly aware that my tendon is just like doing something out of my hand. That was unsettling. I haven't actually experienced parts of me on the inside exposing themselves on the outside. That was, had to do some deep breaths about that. I told Aaron at one point, like, if I pass out, please just don't tell anybody. And he's like, yeah. Okay, but I did it. I actually did it to my credit. I'm going to fucking own it. I'm proud of it. But we go back to our hotel room in the middle of nowhere, cleaned up the wound, bandaged it best as we could for the night.
Cody's missing a part of the story that I'll tell because I was the one that was up sober mind here. So, where we were in the jungle, it was about an hour and 10-minute drive back to the closest town that might have had a clinic. So my thought, I'm like, I'm the one that's kind of trying to be rational here. I've got to figure out what is the best plan of action so that this person that's with me doesn't have this medical emergency. I mean, it was pretty deep cut. He was bleeding. The bleeding had stopped at that point, but it was like it clearly needed some medical attention. The last thing I wanted to do was be stuck in the middle of the Yucatan jungle if his situation got worse. So I took this little Chevy Cobalt, and which is a manual, by the way. It's a 5-speed manual. And I was basically redlining that through these like one-lane jungle roads where the canopy of the jungle is about 4 feet from your eye. At night time, we just gotta get home. Like, we just gotta get there. Like, I'm gonna get us there safe, but like, we gotta get there in case anything gets what we were flying. I mean, I was going like probably 75 or 80 down this thing. Like, seriously pushing the thing to the back. It was a lot of fun. I kept saying I'm a good driver.
Yeah, this like, I'm
we've saying but we get back to the room, and Cody's like, I'm gonna clean the wound. Okay, we go to the pharmacy, we get some gauze, we get.
Hold on, I just gotta say, Aaron, whole entire time is trying to take me to the clinic. And I am telling him, no, I'm going to super. I don't want to do this. I don't want to go. That's what he's telling me the whole time.
You were texting me being like, I don't really like doctors. I don't think I'm gonna go. And I was like, maybe you should like check in with the doctor.
Maybe you should listen to Aaron, the one with calm mind.
He hates doctors. It's a little bitch about it.
I am open to that part in a minute, but I am more mortified at the thought of going to a clinic than I am about the fact that I have a tendon hanging out. I'm telling Aaron, literally, I'm going to get back to the room, I'm going to clean it out, I'm going to poke the tendon back in, and I'm going to super glue it. It's going to be all right. And he's like, you're going to take care. But I did not make it easy. And this man was here.
We had a hard decision to make, right? So we wanted to get back and analyze it because this, like, we visited those ruins, and then also that same night, this was what, Monday
right before the flood.
Monday night at 3 a.m., we were supposed to leave our hotel, or 2 a.m., we're supposed to leave our hotel room and go to the ruins. Yeah, go to some ruins and view the blood moon, right? That's our whole entire plan. So we've got this decision to make, like, you know, what do? Do we take Cody to the clinic right now? They had a clinic in town.
They did.
But Cody was fighting me on it. So we're talking. We came to a compromise. We said, we're going to clean the wound. So we got gauze, we got supplies, we took it back to the hotel. Cody's a savage. He poured it just straight up rubbing out directly onto a human contact. Like, hey, it works. I mean, it's going to clean it. He toughed it out. He was about ready to kick a hole through a wall like a donkey, but he toughed it out and did it. He gets the wound clean. We pack it with gauze. We wrap it up with some medical tape, and we're like, okay, our top priority is getting to go view the blood moon at the ruins. Cody's not dying. He can wiggle his fingers. We're going to figure this out tomorrow. And we just go to bed.
Yes. I made do with what we had. We wrapped it up. We cleaned it out. And we went to bed on what I am certain was pillowcases with actual potatoes.
I did not. They were lumpy. They were the lumpiest pillows I've ever seen in my life. It was like somebody stuffed them with big old cotton balls. Like just big old cotton balls in a sack.
You could kill somebody.
Surprisingly, the bed was actually kind of comfortable.
I have slept on worse things in my life.
It did not.
100%.
It was like a boat, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a boat.
Like a cradle, but warm up.
Yeah, it was nice.
But we wake up 3 o'clock in the morning. Two. Yeah, that's right. 2 o'clock in the morning. We've gotten like 3 hours of sleep maybe at this point.
Yep.
We go out somewhere.
Where'd
We
you
take a
go?
drive.
2 more hours. We drive 2 hours.
Yeah.
Or maybe hour 30 because I was going pretty fast. There was
Fucking crushing.
there's no traffic. It's 2 in the morning. Yeah, I was going fast.
So, and apparently there's not like traffic laws. If you haven't drove around here, they just do whatever they want. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there's zero concern about any of it. So, we make it to another spot. That was, not a kilometer deep in the jungle. We had to hack slash our way.
Oh, yeah. We modified our plans. Instead of going back to the ruins that Cody found, that was the original plan at night. We decided to go to like an established archaeological zone, like a tourist site, where they've got like things taken care of. We know there was like a site that was right on the side of the road.
We didn't need that.
No machetes needed.
Because of the tank.
Right.
And we had to leave the machete there.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, actually, I do want to state this for the record. This is the first time anybody's hearing this. When archaeologists one day go to dig up that site, what will they see? Planted right in the middle of the first cairn.
With your blood on it.
Literally dripping down.
I'm flashing a post from the man, chat from the man himself, Dr. Greg Little. He's in the house and he says discoveries often require a personal price extracted from the discoverer, but hopefully they made a simple survey map of the structures. Did you guys happen to make a simple survey map of the structures?
No.
It was extremely difficult, dense, forested terrain that was hilly and covered in a bed of dead leaves.
You need
So it was
LiDAR.
very difficult to even determine much of anything except for the stuff on the very top. And even when we visited other ruins that we know were like unexcavated ruins, they're just covered in dirt. They just like the jungle just covers these places up and they just kind of like slowly disappear.
And Greg, I'm going to be completely honest. I was so excited. I was not of the logical state of mind that I had been in for 3 years planning the ways I was going to check the magnetic anomaly with different things. Like I didn't get to do any of that. And then I was just like fighting off shock at that point. So no, I'm sorry, Greg.
It's okay.
We're going to come
Greg will
back
forgive
at some
you.
point. I'm 100% going to go back out to the spot, possibly invest in some LiDAR out there.
Some LiDAR out there. I think that's the next step.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll have my LiDAR ready to go by then, guys. I can pack it along with my bio.
I was telling Aaron about that. We'll talk. You can talk. You got
The
to come
bio
out.
has been so cool too to do energetic readings of the environment and of our bodies in the environment, because that's where I'm seeing the coolest stuff.
That's
That's
Megan's
exactly what I
stuff.
want to.
That's Megan's thing.
Let
Greg says understood. A-okay.
Thank you, Greg. Yeah. But I did pay the price of admission gladly and freely. I view it the same way.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing. So let me jump back into the story here because it's 4 a.m. now and we're at this undisclosed archaeological site that it has hours of operation. A lot of these sites that are controlled by the government. And we were out there outside of hours of operation. So we're not going to disclose at this point in time exactly which site it was. If you can go on my X and view some of the photos. Check out my X. It's actually got an amazing photo on there. So we're not going to disclose specifically yet what site it was. That'll be a little bit later. So, but now remember this crazy man right here, his whole intent for this trip, I don't think he shared this yet. So his whole intent for this trip was to go during the blood moon and offer a blood sacrifice at these other ruins that he discovered.
Yeah.
However, the Mayan goddess of whoever it was, the powers that be, said, we do not have patience to wait for Cody to be here during the blood moon. We demand his blood now. They took him to the second he found them. They went the intent to offer it, and they said, no, this is ours, and we will take it now. So that's
wild.
great. Kind of spooky. I get little goosebumps saying that.
So we have it on footage, and I squeezed my hand and I let it drip onto the ground, and I said, I offer this to you freely. However, I am going to offer no more. And I closed my circuits, left the sword right there in the middle of that run, and proceeded on. So yeah, that was the original idea, was to go out there and do this.
Yeah.
But it was just in a very unexpected way.
It wasn't the way that he thought, but it was the way that the gods of the Mayan wanted.
Yeah, I'm on their clock, they're not on.
Yeah. But just to preface this, guys, we went out there safely. You know, we did all we could to prepare for this trip and to be in a good energetic spot, and not to allow certain negative people forces to get a hold of us or to happen, just in case.
Well, so blood moon starts to rise.
Oh yeah. So okay, now we're at this undisclosed ruin. So
Blood moon's rising. How much are we going to just close here, bud?
they'll just tell the whole story. We don't have to tell Barry, just tell the story.
Okay. Well, we traveled to the main courtyard. I set up my camera, and unfortunately, we only got to watch the main rise to the Belighted eclipse. We got to watch the moon go into eclipse, and then we got to watch it turn red.
Yeah.
And the clouds covered for us from there.
That's true.
So we decided to not just sit and stare at clouds, and we got some exercise.
Yeah, we got some exercise,
Steep exercise.
steep exercise that was probably not allowed, but the fun part was there was lots of exciting things that happened.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to post the footage to my YouTube channel, and it became the first exploration of these ruins at night that ever exists, including once we reached the top of the pyramid, a condor flew about 3 feet directly over my head, out from the door of the pyramid as soon as we.
Aaron is underselling that moment. A condor hopped down.
Vulture.
Yes. This big ass vulture. I mean, the size of like a medium-sized dog, right? I mean, this thing was like big,
like a goose.
So it hops down. It sounds like some big ass animal has just like emerged from, because we had just reached the presence at the top, whatever that particular building, the top of the structure. Right. The uppermost.
We hiked up here.
Yeah. We did. So the uppermost building.
It wasn't Chichen Itza.
Yes.
God, I don't want to hear it wasn't Chichen Itza. Officially. But anyway,
and this just big thump, and this giant vulture just comes walking directly at us, and then takes off about 4 feet away. It emerged from the building at the top, completely, and approached us, making eye contact back and forth with us, and then takes off literally not 3 feet above Aaron's head.
I need to look at the spiritual meaning of vultures after this.
It scared the shit out of me. So I'm like, what's coming out? I don't know. And then it was this big old bird.
And immediately I turned to Aaron and I'm like, that was snowman.
Wow.
Really cool footage. We explored these rooms at night times. We got some really great footage that we posted in that. The main event that we were waiting for was the blood moon.
I've left offerings, by the way, at each one, some copal. At every ruin we've visited thus far, I've either left it or copal.
Yeah. It is
life force energy. That is the word for life force energy in my.
Okay.
Excuse me. Sorry, what we do next? All right, we go back to the front of the pyramid, and then we just have this fantastic time. we sit down, drop our bags. Nobody else is around. There's a little house where the guards might live, kind of close by, but we're the only people there. It was beautiful. It was such a beautiful experience. We just stopped. And the moon comes up, and the moon is next to the pyramid. It's to the left of the pyramid. And go to my bags, you can see the picture of it. Because I have a decent phone that can take night photography, so it like illuminated the pyramid with my flashlight and had enough to get this nice little red spot. The photos don't do it justice. So the moon is so much bigger in person.
I thought that when I saw the photo.
You're like, what? A lot of people like the photo on it. It's so much bigger in person.
It's always that way.
But so the moon rises to the left of this pyramid, and it kind of hovers there, and then you see the shadow of it start taking over from the top, like a little circle like this, and then it becomes more red, maroon, and then as it takes over, then it becomes a vibrant, rich, bright red, like literally bright red. And look at it in the picture, and it stayed that way for quite a while. We got to see it, as Cody said, come and take over the moon, become red, and then the clouds kind of closed in front of us. We weren't able to see the moon lose its color, but the clouds closed in front of us. And at this point in time, the blood moon occurs because the sun is starting to rise, right? The sun is, that's effectively hitting it as the sun is rising. It's coming in, basically eclipsing it. The lunar eclipse, right? Not solar eclipse. But either way, so it started to get light out there. And so we said, hey, why don't we go and take a look at this place and explore the rest of this place? And we're the only people here. We have this magical twilight hour right before dawn where we get to explore these minds and at our own personal special moment and our own intimate time there. And it's funny. Yeah, we went back today. Why don't you tell them about that? Go back today. I feel like I'm talking too much. I want to say it.
Yeah, we went back today in the daytime. Actually, we realized how much of the site we missed. So it was very nice to see. We got to have a much more generic and vanilla experience the second.
There were tourists there. There were some buses full of old people, black people.
But I would like to preface it. We've gone and we've done these things out of a sheer love and respect for the Maya as a culture. Absolutely. Their story deserves to be told in beautiful, glorious, modern day 4K video. There is not a lot of that intimately in these sites. And for people who can't just jaunt down to the Yucatan and trek out in places, there needs to be these things documenting them in a way that modern consumers want to enjoy. And that's the reality. So before we preemptively catch any flag, I just need everybody to know our intentions are 100% in the right place. We are telling their story. We are not telling our story. We are telling their story. And
so our friend Richard, my friend Richard said, I lived the archaeological life through expeditions and videos, learning much along the way. So that's exactly what you're talking about, man. It's, people who either can't or whatever go, they're going to see it through your eyes and they're going to see it in 4K. Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh yeah. You're in the I've gotten some wild. So
I have to ask a question about the blood moon situation. Did you guys feel any physiological effects during that experience?
He was in shock, so
I just wondered if there was an energetic something. I don't know.
A lot more room than there.
Cody and I have been having a lot of talks because we've been doing a lot of driving, and we haven't even turned on music. We've been having some great conversations. We've learned a lot about each other, and I've learned about Cody that Cody is very empathetic towards outside forces and outside energies, and he's able to pick up on things that I don't even notice. I don't even think about. And it's very cool to see that perspective and see somebody utilizing that in action. Because, like when the vulture came, my first thought was, "Damn, of course a vulture lives there. That's a cool thing. Vultures live on high places. It's a bird." And that was a scary thing. And Cody's first thought was, "Oh my goodness, we're here at the blood moon with the blood eclipse, and I climbed this pyramid, and then, it's an omen of something." And so it's very cool to see just to see that perspective. And I appreciate that perspective. I love that perspective. So if you ask me, I'm going to say I really enjoyed that spectacular looking event, and it was very beautiful and moving, and it touched me. But that's about it. But Cody,
when we were just walking to the magnetic anomaly, it's feeling, you know, because I could feel it, a very strange pulsing of energy. And at a lot of these sites, there's when you touch on these stones and you put your hands onto these things that have sat there thousands of years in some cases, it's that energy, I do believe, is very much absorbed and living through those rocks and those structures. The emotional energy, the physical energy, the time and effort that the people who lived there put into those places. That energy is still blatant and present there. It's a truly interesting thing to tap into. But I do appreciate Aaron's level-headed view on things as well, because I like to fit in the blue clouds sometimes.
it's good balance.
Yeah.
It's good balance. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was a spectacular experience. I mean, we may have been the first people to have that experience in 1,000 years.
Yeah.
With the Spanish, who assigned no significance to astronomical events the way that or I shouldn't say no, because I don't know for sure, they assigned little significance to astronomical events and none compared to the Maya or a lot of these ancient civilizations. So that was the foundation of their religion, their culture, their sciences, even. They base a lot on that. And I've been learning a ton of this from Cody, who has been going deep into the Mayan religion and archaeoastronomy and history as well, and just their glyphs and what they mean. So it's been cool to learn that. So we may have been the first people that have actually experienced this event, like truly, in 1,000 years.
Amazing.
I mean, so it was really cool and really special, and it was such a unique thing to do. So regardless of whether I felt anything that was like a physiological effect from the moon, it was a touching and beautiful experience that's changed me.
Greg says their story is very similar to an initiation ritual into one of the ancient secret societies, shaman and medicine people, etc. Shaman 711, shout out to our boy. He says vulture is a great spirit animal. They are represented all over the Tots Templar site. So you guys were visited by that he was waiting for you guys, I think.
I believe when it looked at us, it judged us, and it moved on freely and allowed us to be there. It granted us permission, because let's be clear, that's a big ass bird.
Yeah, they're huge.
Big ass. I don't think if it was unhappy, it wouldn't have just flown at us. And let's also be clear, if it would have flown at us, we were in a pretty compromised position.
Legit,
we would have been dead.
This structure that we were on, it was steeper than 45-degree.
Bad.
It was more akin to climbing a ladder than it was to climbing stairs.
And at least how tall? 3 stories, 4 stories?
Oh my goodness, 50 feet? Yeah, 60 feet. One of concussion. Yeah, your brain's getting split open if you fall down the stairs.
Yeah.
There's no way to avoid that.
Is this a place that you climb normally, or just because it was nighttime?
Well, I mean, we were literally standing on. We had just set up on the platform on the top.
But it's allowed to climb it, it's not off limits normally.
Some of these signs are unclear.
Totally cool. I love being off limits climb. No judgment.
We're trying to document things seriously, okay?
And you're doing it out of respect.
I follow the laws of nature, not the laws of man. I'm just kidding. I follow the laws of man.
The vulture
he could have killed us. He could have flown at me and knocked me backwards, and I would have been dead.
We were in a completely, we had literally just stepped onto the top platform with just steps behind us. In fact, Aaron was slightly in front of me, and I wasn't even all the way up. And he stepped backwards as this thing starts to hop down. And my first instinct was just to grab his backpack, because I was like, this bird flies. I don't know if he knows there's no more steps that way.
Wow.
Great experience.
Jeff up north's in the house. Everyone say hi to Jeff up north.
Yeah, how you doing, dude?
Good to see you.
Rue
Yeah,
says,
but this-
Megan, don't ask those sorts of questions.
Yeah, you really don't have some calculated.
But listen, the adventure doesn't end here. This is just the start of the adventure.
We've only hit this side and we're
We're only midway through. So now it's closer to daytime, closer to when the workers would be up and people would be around to see us in this archaeological site without having to purchase tickets for that day. Because remember, we got there a little bit early in the morning.
But there might have been somebody who did purchase that.
Yeah. So we decided, we're gonna jet out of there, and then it's about a 1 hour, 2 hour drive back to the city where we had this Airbnb right here in Merida. And so at this point in time now, I've humored Cody a lot with his request for super glue that he kept demanding. And so eventually I said this exact words to him: "Shut the fuck up. We're taking you to the fucking hospital."
He's like 4 walk from the hospital.
Oh my god! I forgot about the hand during the whole story about the blood moon and shit. I forgot he's literally got a tendon poking out of his fucking hand.
Yeah,
Holy shit!
That's crudely at this point.
So good. So we start driving
Oh,
back.
yeah.
We finally convince him, and I look on my phone and I find what appears to be the most modern and nicest hospital that we can find. So he was a little bit sketched out. I said, "All right, we'll go to the hospital. Let's go there." So we go to this one minute. Very great.
It was very nice.
Tell us about this. The man that has a fear of doctors. Tell us about your hospital experience.
So I'm gonna be honest. I've now at this point gone like an entire night and morning with this wound. I've fended off shock, and now the scariest thing in my mind is not like how much thumb power am I going to lose over the years. Am I going to get some sort of disease or something from this? What are the ramifications? None of that. My thought is, Aaron, please, for the love of God, I need you to use your Spanish to ask them if they have liquid.
So just if there's any other option but stitches.
Yeah. I was really afraid of the stitches. They had to give me a bunch of numbing shots because that apparently I have a high blood tolerance.
Yeah, this was so funny. So they start popping with Novocaine, right? And it's like, and Cody stuff. I got this all on video. Cody's stuff, he's grinning. He's holding his hand very still for this doctor. Hey, by the way, shut up, Dr. Castillo.
Yeah.
We don't know who you are, but we love you. He's trying to speak English. He did pretty good. Yeah, it's like
That's
amazing bedside manner. Amazing.
pseudo gentle because I do not make it easy to just be a doctor and serve me doing what I paid to go there and do.
But they get him with Novocaine. They get him popped up there. They put 4 stitches in his hand. They tuck the little tendon back in there. They say, "Hey, it's not a big deal. It's just a tiny little baby one. So you still got fully use your hand." And they stitch him back up. They clean him back up. Hey, though, hospital visit in Mexico plus all the medication, all the antibiotics. We are out $200. So
It's pretty
Not that bad. Yeah, that would have cost you a lot more in the United States.
go right to the emergency room and get stitches within 30 minutes. We got stitches out there in 30 minutes, and it was 10 out of 10 service.
I'm gonna be honest. I learned all the wrong lessons from this. Like I was like, I can go out to the jungle, fuck myself up completely, and then just go get fixed in roughly a 24-hour span for basically nothing. There's no downside to this whatsoever. It's what I heard from that one.
What's fucked up is I was supposed to be there, and I literally would have stitched you on the spot.
I know. I was laying there bleeding out, Dave, and I said to Aaron, "Tell Dave he could have saved me."
It would have been funny if you were there, because I think I would have had to hold him down while you stitched him on the spot.
Yeah, for sure.
Fun and hilarious.
Oh man, that would have made the story.
I actually
So we're
have
at each other.
I actually have the good stuff, so I would have doped him up really good.
I appreciate that because what they were sticking with, I don't know if it's my high drug tolerance or if it was just shit next to him. It was like a good 30 seconds of numb. And I was like, all right, this is good. By the time you get the thing queued up, I'm like, it was not good.
It's fun. So we get that done. And remember, this is still, we're still running on like 3 hours of sleep at this point in time. It's like 9 a.m.
No food since like 9 o'clock the previous
Yeah,
day.
I hadn't had food. And I mean, the food that this guy eats isn't really food anyways. So hadn't had food. Hadn't had sleep. Boy was bleeding out. Boy was bleeding out. It's like 8 a.m. We can't even check into the air because I checked out the Airbnb. We can't even check in until 11. So it was just, a fun situation. So we finally make it back. We get showered, we get everything taken care of, and we're just like exhausted. Like both of us took a good solid nap. And yeah, that was just one day.
That's how we started.
One day. That was Monday. What'd you guys do today? What'd you guys do this week?
Busy week.
Oh.
I had
That
a
was
fucking
fun.
wild week myself that I'm not going to tell you about, but it was an up and crazy week. And so I wasn't even tracking on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, really. And so I've been sitting here like this whole time, and you guys are talking about like 32 hours or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So it's,
But we
Yeah,
had 5, 6, 9.
Not that many. Well, we
We had 14.
so we got Chichen Itza and Yaxchina, and then 4 more today, plus yours. So that's 7. 7 so far.
did you go to Coba?
No, Copa's over. That's too far away. We're in
Oh.
Merida, like right by the coast. It's like 3 or 4 hours. Sadly,
That's a pretty cool
Yeah.
site. How was your experience at Chichen
It's
Itza?
got a really tall pyramid. Sorry, what was that, Dave?
You said you've been to Coba. It's a really tall pyramid. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. How was your experience at Chichen Itza?
Chichen Itza was a great place. Yeah, I really enjoyed the pyramids. Chichen Itza's funny. There's a lot of things to like about Chichen Itza and a lot of things to be in awe of. And there's a lot of things to just hate.
Yeah, I totally agree. I've been there twice. I know what you're gonna
Yeah.
say.
So I'll let Cody get it out because he wants to vent. I can tell he just wants to vent and tell you guys all the things that he hates about Chichen Itza.
Was it
Like,
because
no.
it's like a damn it's like a damn amusement park or something there? There's like a gajillion people.
I don't know. For me, like Aaron said, I think I'm feeling the vibes, the site, the people there and everything. And I just, like, it felt so hollowed out and insincere and just the culture being raped, pillaged for just cheap old white people money. Because that's like all their lives, right? It was just like, we're busting white. And they can't like climb pyramids and do any of that shit anyway. So everything, absolutely everything at Chichen Itza is roped off, including you can no longer touch the red jaguar. Unacceptable. If I'm going to go to Chichen Itza, I want to touch the red jaguar.
Yeah. And it was heavily commercialized.
Oh, yeah.
Every single spot.
The perimeter.
There was shit like,
Yeah.
and I'm not exaggerating.
No.
And I mean this like on every path,
Yeah.
every other site, it is aligned with vendors selling shit.
Packed tight side by side.
And it's freaking obnoxious because they all say the same thing. $1, my friend, $1, my friend. Come on, just $1, my friend. They say $1, my friend. Look, I've only got this for $1, my friend. So you just hear that constantly this whole entire time. I'm like, yo, I just want to look at some freaking rocks. That's all I'm here to do. I'm a
It's all
dog. I'm-
cheap shit too. It like falls
like,
apart.
I don't need your stuff. I'm here for the
You
rocks.
just wanted to touch rocks.
I did get this there though. Did you guys happen to look at the guy in the spaceship while you were there?
No.
There's literally a guy in a spaceship.
Yeah,
at one of the sites.
that shell.
Yeah.
We didn't see it. Where is it located?
It's on one of the structures at Chichen Itza.
Boy, absolutely everything is roped off obnoxiously far.
Yeah, you can like see things from a distance now. Like you can't like there's stuff that you can like, oh yeah, I see there's a platform up there and a whole huge area back there, but they won't even let you like go near it.
To be clear, and I do want to say, despite the negative things that I just rattled off, everybody should go see Chichen Itza if they get the opportunity.
Get it done once.
So-
I've seen it once now. That's enough for me. I doubt I will ever go back unless it's under more private and
It's
direct.
pretty easy to go, like from a resort and stuff. Like you can just
Yeah.
jump on a bus with a bunch of people. And when I was there for a wedding, I was with a bunch of Canadians who were scared of going off. I guess they're scared of Mexico or something. Canadians, I don't know what it is, but none of them wanted to go off site with me. So I ended up going to Coba and to Chichen Itza myself, and I had a really cool experience there. Like. I had a very good guide, but the thing is, I know so much about Chichen Itza is that like I was talking, I was like saying shit too, and then like I think she got annoyed with me, so I eventually had to shut up. But when I was there, I didn't really like know this. I've been there twice, and I didn't know this until I talked to Wandering Wolf, shout out Michael Collins, Quest for Ancient Civilization, link down below. But isn't that, he said it's like 80% cement or concrete or something, like it's been reconstructed.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's the right 80% is right. I might have just made that up, but can you tell that?
Looking at it, I would say easily 80%.
Okay, so that same day, on the way between Chichen Itza and Mérida, off on the side of the road, there's a different place called Yaxina. And these are just very little visited ruins, infrequently visited ruins. Geez, please, I can't even talk. Infrequently visited ruins, but they have what's called the Templo Mayor, which is an unexcavated, unrestored temple. And it's just a pile of rock.
It looks like, if you did not know it was a pyramid, you would say this is a rocky hillside with trees and shrubs and everything you have ever seen on any hill ever.
So Chichen Itza, you can look at the pictures of it before it was like excavated. You see like a little building on top, and then everything is underneath it. It's like trees and stuff. That was just rock. Almost guaranteed it's been restored in modern days by the Mexican government.
Well, and we've seen very drastic levels of restoration quality.
Oh yeah.
There are some places they do absolutely nothing to make it even look original. And it's like they're a flat skin coating with like
Asphalt.
Yeah. A generic everyday modern asphalt. And it's it seems like some sites have definitely been given more concern. And I don't know if that comes down to workers actually doing the work. If it comes down to the money flow they're getting for supplies to do the work. I don't know. Mike Collins definitely knows more about the restoration side of things than I do. But after hearing his talks on it, that was something that I couldn't help but notice. And,
I'm glad I didn't know that when I went there.
I almost wish that I didn't, but at the same time, there was sites that it seemed like they were going out of their way to be extra careful. They had every single stone marked diligent. They weren't just tossed in a pile like a bunch of sites where they've got these very important veneer. The actual carved stone veneers, they just have piled up, not organized, not sorted, in a bunch of rooms. You're going to see on my footage. In a bunch of rooms, they are just piled up. But at some sites we visited, they do very diligent, sort them out. They put the X's next to each other. They put the column bow ties next to each other. Every one of them is numbered.
Shoot, we found a pile of rubble that had a bunch of different like carbide things. We found these little 3 pillar things. We set them on top of each other because they're just like rubble right there. Literally, so you just like pick them up and stack them.
Random piles of it. At a lot of sites, the actual restoration and archaeology that's been done is a very, very minimal portion of the site. And the rest of the site just literally has the rubble everywhere.
Wow. You guys have video of all this shit you're going to put out?
Yeah, you bet. Lots of videos. He's doing a whole series on his channel, and I'm going to do the regular thing, just throw them on mine as well.
I will have Expedition Yucatan coming out on my channel. Hopefully sooner than not. I don't know. Honestly, editing on this thing is a learning curve for me. I uploaded a little sample for you to show off.
Yeah, let's play it. Let's play that right now.
Yeah.
And check it out. You guys won't be able to see it, but you might be able to hear
Go
it.
ahead and skip in there like 1 minute, Dave.
I did. I
Perfect.
shared 1 minute. I'm super excited for all the shit you're gonna put out. I hope everyone else is too. Can you guys see that right now? No? Yes? No? There we go. There it is. Let's play it. What are we looking at, Cody?
What are we looking at?
I don't know. Let's see. Oh. Let's go.
It's like a hole. I'm looking at. Oh, what the?
So we went into. I dropped down into the side of the pyramid.
We're going in.
We had to kind of go over the walls and do some jumping to get over there. But I dropped down into a room, and in the room there's just broken floorboards that were probably rotted out over 40, 50 years ago. And on the far side is what I know to be a portal to Shabbat. They would often, for shamanic, just the symbolic purpose of having, they would build these portals to Shabbat, where they would leave offerings to
We're
and
entering
whatnot.
gateway
So he's
to Shabbat.
what he's trying to describe is in this room, at the bottom, kind of on the floor, there's a small entrance that is like maybe 2 feet tall and 2 feet across. It's square. So it's like, I mean, I could fit through it, you could fit through it, but not like, you can't walk through it. You can't really crawl, you kind of have to like shimmy through it. So he goes down there and goes in. So I made my way across
hand.
the board.
He's like this with his hand. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Quarters.
Yeah, this is totally bandaged up at the time. But so I went in there, crawling, and there's 2 pathways when you enter. There's always one to the left and one to the right. And something else I perceived as an interesting little element is when I went in there, right to the right, and you can hear the flutter, and you can see a shadow go by. When I re-edit this video, I'll make sure that I get the moth, but there was a giant white moth in there. And it fluttered next to me for a minute, and then that's immediately I was like, but I checked out both sides. I went down the left corridor, I went down the right corridor. Who knows if at one point they actually went deeper, because you can see I show like at the end it is just rock falling in on both sides. I don't know if it was always that way and they just piled up rocks at the end, or if that's indicative of it is collapsed in. I really don't know. A lot of the spots, especially because we started jumping in holes later, a lot of the underground spaces at some point in time, yeah, it was mostly me. I jump into all the holes. I'm like, oh, shabash. It's like a hop. Yeah, it's like one-handed and just down in there. Yeah. I got really excited at one spot, and it was like a real small credit, so I could like slide down in there. We'll have that on video. But yeah, this was just a very simple, actually intention card, not natural entrance to Shabbat. That would have been shamanically important to people back. And to get to go in there, to purify it, to conquer any fear or doubt of entities lurking there and dwelling there still, and then come back out, it felt pretty awesome. It was
what we're seeing is you climbing out of it, I think, right now from the other side. Is that correct? You went from one side to the other. Is that
back out? Yeah, you got to go back out to the same hole. But I went down the left corridor first, and then I went down the right corridor, and I made my way back to the center and emerge out of Shibaba. It was fun.
we're getting towards the end of the video here.
And that was my second attempt ever editing with 360 footage. So my final product will be better than what you've watched here. This was literally just, I made this in the car. I exported it over the last 2 hours. And here it is. So I just wanted to have something to show. It was good time.
Cody, man, I'm just basking in your joy and excitement about this. I wish I could have done it in person, but we'll do that next time.
Absolutely.
You seem like you were just having the time of your life, man. And I think it's the beginning of something big for you guys and for Cody especially, because you really pay respect and embody the spirit of the people there, and I just think that's wonderful, dude. And and Aaron, thank you for making sure Cody didn't die. And I'd say the part where like you're flooring it through this fucking tiny road,
It was
like,
a
and
great
stuff,
fucking
like
movie.
it sounded like a movie while you guys were talking about it. I was like, Megan and I were like,
You know that scene in Batman Begins where Rachel Dawson gets spiked with the drug and Batman's like, Rachel, you're trying to
yes.
That's fun. Yeah. Okay, but now, like, he's not even overselling. That was fucking lying.
Ah,
This guy's being humble as fuck. Like, he was like, dude, in and out. Yeah.
I'm drop shifting. I'm going from like 5 to 3 to 3 to 2, 2 to 5. Like, I'm freaking going crazy.
It's possible that you can put a whole human body in and still be under the street level. And this guy's like, like real world frog or over pop. I'm yeah.
Bruce wants to know about the video where you're climbing in the tunnel. He's asking if it was original or rebuilt. Do you have any perspective on that?
So I do believe that part is original because there are parts of the roof that have caved in, and some spots they've started to reconstruct, some spots they've just palletized the roof, but none of it was in a state of reconstruction. It was in a state of clear out and organize. So, and this was, you've got to figure very low to the ground. I was actually underground level. You'll see when I descend into that room, it's actually below the outside ground.
It's like into a hill. It's like into the side of a hill. It's like a pyramid builds up there. So he's like going into the pyramid.
Right, because they would usually find a natural feature and then accentuate it to suit their symbolic description needs of what they wanted their symbolic entrances to look, which are all the symbolic derivatives of the hall. So it was very cool. And the right and left passageway and everything, like it's neat to see the way that they did that and to see it still in its original state. That was definitely pretty
I
good.
just want to say, like, just for your future knowledge, like septic shock, that's infection, can set in like it depends, like on a bunch of different things. It could set in very quickly, and sometimes it could take like a few days. But
Never tell me the other stand.
and like you weren't at risk for hypovolemic shock. That's when you like literally bleed out. You need to like lose a shitload of blood. What you were needed to be concerned about was infection. So I'm just super.
I'm taking antibiotics. I've been doing good at taking my medicine, have I not?
Yeah,
Good job, Cody.
I told the doctor 2 things. One, I'm because I don't want to die and I do not want to lose my right hand. So I have diligently taken my medicine. I have diligently cleaned this thing because that doesn't bother me. And it actually, Dave, just so you know, it looks terrific. I have shown Aaron as proof that it looks terrific each time I clean it. It's not red, it's not flared up. My body fully accepted this wound and is doing its part to regenerate itself.
Fantastic.
That's
And so,
good to hear.
what's next? Like, like you guys visit all these sites you told us about. How much longer are you there?
Till Sunday, I fly out. Aaron has some more exciting things planned. You should tell them that.
Yeah, I extended my trip a few days. I'm going to fly over to Mexico City, and I decided, I'm down here in Mexico. I've actually never visited Teotihuacan. So I'm going to stop in Mexico City for a few days and get some footage over there and explore the local area, explore the local talent, and, enjoy it while I'm here.
Very cool. I've never been there either. My wife is from Mexico City, and so eventually we'll go down there. But that's a big tourist thing too. Expect like it to look like a literal theme park with buses pulling up and shit like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get there literally as the doors open, so I can just
That's what I do.
Get the good shit.
Yeah.
Without wanting to add other tourists around.
That's the way to do it, because by 11 o'clock in the morning, there's just a shitload of people. So Cody's there till Sunday. What else are you guys planning on exploring? Are you planning on relaxing a little bit?
Tomorrow I need to get a tattoo. I've been waiting a couple days to get it. People aren't always super on time around here.
Yeah.
They kind of operate on their own whenever the fuck I feel like thing type of schedule.
So, Cody's getting the tattoo. We still need to visit the Grand Museum of the Maya. Gran Museo Maya del Mundo, as you say down here. Gran Museo Maya del Mundo. The Grand Museum of the Maya, which I've heard is really, really good. So we might go do that tomorrow as well. We wanted to go to some cenotes. I still might go to some cenotes once you leave, but that hand there, we don't want to get me a crazy bacteria from it.
Yeah, that's true.
Not just a note.
They're a really cool experience. Aaron, have you ever done one?
Yeah, I've done one over in Cancun area.
Okay, yeah, same. It was like one I could literally I have pictures of me zip lining and then dropping into this cenote the first time I went. The second time it was more of like not a scuba dive, what's the other word? Snorkeling trip through a cenote. The second time I was there. But it's definitely an experience you should do. You don't go by yourself though. Don't go with like a tour, because then you got to do a bunch of
I don't
shit.
do groups.
We've had great tour guides this entire time. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. We're hitting just over an hour. I know you guys are tired, and I just want to say that I love you guys, and I really appreciate you guys hopping on here. I want you guys to devour your pizza and get some rest. I know it was like we were kind of touch and go, like when you guys are going to be here. Everyone was like confused at the time because I kept changing it. So thank you so much to the people in the chat who stayed with us. We had Rue here, Richard Dullum. We literally had the legend himself, Greg Little.
What an honor.
Bunch of people. And so everyone probably knows already, but flash your where can everyone find you for real quick?
Go ahead.
Megalithic Mystery over on X, over on YouTube. Let's go
here.
Enter the Carbonatrix if you want to have some fun times with fruit.
Yeah.
Yes, enter the Carbonatrix. Aaron is pioneering a new invention to where he carbonates whole fruit, and it's fucking delicious, by the way. Greg is still here. Greg stayed with us the whole time. Thank you so much, Greg. Guys,
you can find me at East 10 Outpost on X, on YouTube. Actually, everywhere else too. I just neglect the other places, but find me on YouTube at East 10 Outpost, because I have some incredible 4K 360 footage coming out that I'm going to get good at editing, I swear, before I put it out, and it's going to be clean and dynamic. I guarantee it will be some of the best footage that exists out there of some of these sites. Second only, some of Aaron's shots that he is playing that. So it's a lot. Mine's not even 4K. Mine's like 1080p. I'm a peasant out here. Yeah, but you got that photo. That photo is like screen saver.
You can have it. You should do a video too.
Well, it's so check out our stuff, because we're going to have some amazing adventures to show off. We barely scratched the surface. You're going to want to
and I want to say to the chat, if you joined midway, please watch from the beginning, because Cody's story and Aaron's story about going through the jungle and injuring his hand is absolutely epic. You got literally sounds like a 30 45 minute segment from a movie or something, with the whole and then the cut, and then the shock setting in, and then the drive, and man, I if I was there, it would have happened a little differently. But next time, we got big plans.
It's live, baby.
I kept telling Cody that the magic he was expecting probably wasn't going to go like at all like he thought. But I'm really glad that you got the experience that you have been like planning for like more than 3 years. Is it for this?
Yeah,
Like
amazing.
I'm just like to watch you chase that dream so hard, even when it probably only made sense to you for a while and nobody else. It's a brave thing to do and to follow through. And Aaron, it's just so cool that you're just the ultimate adventure buddy, ready to jump on board. It's really nice to finally get to meet you as well. I've heard a lot of really wonderful things. So
They're a dynamic duo.
Yeah.
I don't quite get this comment, but we'll throw it up there. Rue says, Dave, could you ask? I think he meant Aaron and Cody, but he says Dave and Cody to see if they could find my hat while they are there in the jungle. Does anybody get that?
We all had Drew. The first one got lost. I'm about to send the second one. I'm going to give it to you. You owe me the hat. Thank you for not letting me forget. We left it with the machete at the ruins. You're going to have to retrieve it.
We all have to go.
And Bold Mind 80, he's been making some comments. He wants to send you guys a book. Hold on, let me find the comment quick.
I'm very interested in that book also, about like magnetics and pyramids.
Yeah,
my kind of book.
Aztec and Maya complete history. Also, I have a book on magnetic experiments done at the pyramids. I have so many books you guys would love. Some really old ones too. So he sent me some pictures of those. I'll forward them to you guys because he wants to connect with you guys. Man, that was an adrenaline rush of an hour and 7 minute live stream. I'm gonna drop some closeout music. I don't know what it's gonna be. This one says outer space. No, it's not that one. Let's go.
Well, Megan, Dave, thank you.
You guys rock. Keep up the adventures. Can't wait to hear if anything else interesting happens from this point onwards too.
Yeah, and we're gonna drop an epic episode of Breaking Ancient News when you guys get back. And so everyone look forward to that and subscribe to Breaking Ancient News. Subscribe to Eats 10 Outpost. Subscribe to Megalithic Mysteries. Subscribe to Mike and Dave's Dave's Multiverse. It used to be Mike and Dave's Multiverse. If you haven't already, I just dropped an episode last week with Dr. Greg Little. Outstanding 3-hour chat. Tomorrow is an episode about the Wild West. Going into the Wild West next week with Josh Taylor of the Wild West Extravaganza. Next week we have an episode with the Illegitimate Scholar, which blew my mind. Lots of stuff coming up in the multiverse. So just like and subscribe. Yeah. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Aaron and Cody. Let's go. Let's go.